So I planted a 65-gallon Okrang mango, which is a Southeast Asian mango, here this afternoon. And a few things I wanted to go over with you. First is understanding the microclimates. Mangoes in Phoenix are going to prefer and perform a lot better if they get an afternoon shade or an all-day filtered sun the first 1 or 2 summers. Give them a chance to grow some foliage, learn how to deal with our sun, and they'll perform a lot better in the long run. So I've planted this, I'm looking due west here. So I've planted this on the east side of this fast-growing sisu tree behind it, which I'm banking on getting about 3 times the size by this time next year. So if it grows another 5 foot to the south, which is my left, your right, then it'll provide some afternoon shade to this mango by next May or June. Also, there's a baby sisu sprouting up here, which will grow up. We can trim it as necessary to give the mango room to grow. But between the 2 sisus, they can provide a windbreak and a little bit of cold protection in the winter, which is our biggest issue here, especially in South Phoenix. We get about 10 degrees colder than downtown. Second thing I wanted to point out is that mangoes do not want a fancy, rich, black soil. They prefer poor soil, which by definition is our soil here. Our soil has a high pH. It's not a bad soil. There's a lot of minerals here. The problem is it's highly compacted. So you want to loosen it, and you can mix it with some of our planting soil, which contains lava rock and sand, and or some quarter-minus gravel. Now, digging this hole here, I was actually really lucky to find I hit a vein of sand about 2 foot down, which for me is rare, but the mango should really appreciate that. A little bit of native sand is probably king for mango. Now you notice the dark colored material with the water here, that's a little bit of worm castings and a thin layer of compost. So I have not mixed any into the hole with the mango, but I put about 2 inches of our homemade compost and worm castings made next door at the Arizona Worm Farm on top of the ground. So the mango has a slow release food working its way down to the root ball. So it's pretty much just native soil and some of this native sand in the hole. 3, you can see the root flare is exposed. I like to plant about 2-3 inches above grade, because with that first water, the tree is going to settle 10 to 15%. I have killed many a tree by planting at ground level or below. And when the tree settles and some of the soil starts to cover up the crown of the root ball, it'll choke it out. And it'll happen pretty quickly. I've killed 65-gallon, 5-year-old mango trees in 7 days' time just by planting at ground level. 4, you can see here that I'm filling the well with water now. I've already hit it with about 10 gallons of water mixed with fish emulsion and seaweed. I'm not adding any fertilizer beyond that with the initial planting. Our soil here is very dry. So what I'm going to do is fill this well with water, and this is going to take probably a good 100-ish gallons of water, and then I'm going to let it drain, and then I'm going to hit it again, because what's going to happen is the surrounding bone-dry soil is going to suck away a lot of that moisture, and I want to make sure that the root ball stays nice and moist, especially with the winds that we have coming in here the next couple days with Tropical Storm Rosa coming from the Pacific. I don't want the tree to dry out. So with your initial planting of any tree, you should flood them really well, and then go back and hit them once more and sometimes twice more until the soil is not going to absorb any more water, and then you can leave it alone for probably about a week or so, depending on what the temperatures are. I have not added mulch yet because I do not want to displace the water. I want to make sure this tree gets a bunch of water. After the water drains, I'm going to add my first layer of mulch. You can see the pile over there behind the banana and the royal palm. So I'll throw down about 6 to 10 inches of mulch on top of it once the water drains. And that is my story for the day. If you have any questions, give us a call or go to our website, greenlifebySeamuso'Leary.com. Also, our Facebook group is Living the Green Life. Plant something.